Good morning, BSN4PROS to the pros. Welcome to another live with your friendly neighborhood. I don't even know what I am really. I'm just here. This journey started couple years ago, where we just, you know, uh, COVID times. We were out here trying to. I think we all pushed ourselves. There was a time. I think there was a disturbance and some kind of an energy field. I mean, you would say, right, Michelle?
Yeah, there was
Something
a
happened where all
lot.
of us were just kind of disturbed, or there's something happened where there was people that we had to make changes personally with ourselves, with our lives, everything. And then we just kind of, and a lot of us connected, and you and I connected during that time and we became friends. And here we are. So good morning, Michelle. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing great. The great disturbance. It was a reset. I think at the end, if we can, it's always that rear view mirror picture. And so what happened in that time and what can I take away from it?
Yeah.
And I feel that it was for people to get back into their hearts and really consider what in my life is truly important. And so I think we were all just put in that bubble, like it or not, to do some deep reflection on life and what is working, how am I showing up, what is not working. And I'm given an opportunity here to create some deep change, potentially transformation. I have my little doggy here. She just walked in. Hi, Bella. She's saying good morning. So yeah, so super interesting that whatever our beliefs are around that event, I think we can all agree it was a pandemic, and there were a lot of things that were funneling us to really find ourselves in a certain container. And so when we talk about emotional intelligence, the only thing that we can really be intelligent about is how we react and how we relate to one another and bring in a level of empathy.
No, I agree. 100%. We could go out there, just be angry. We could be negative. We can go out there and try to hurt other people. I think that we saw all that, and then we saw the pros and the cons. And I mean, for me, I didn't want to be known as someone that was like an angry person, right? I didn't want to be out there known as angry. I'm like, I wanted to be known as like someone who just improved from themselves. They got better, whatever it was. And during that time, I mean, there was some dark spots in everyone's lives. I think everyone had dark spots, relationship wise, financial, spiritually, whatever you want to call it. There was spots where everyone either you worked on it and you improved, or you're still fighting right now. You're still fighting right now. I'm still fighting it right now.
Excuse me, it's the downward spiral. And so we're all at choice at any given time. And so what is it that we want to pursue? As Einstein says, you can't solve a problem in the mindset of the individual who initially created the problem. That's insanity. And so evolution is part of our process as humans, whether we choose that or not. And so those who do expand, and we get into self-development and growth, and that could look many different ways. It calls us to be of service to our fellow brothers and sisters. And again, those who choose not to, and it could be an unconscious choice or conscious, really stay in this position of, why is my life always kind of in this same cadence? Why am I spiraling down? When will this ever end? Is there no bottom? And so free will.
Yeah. And I wanted to tell you this. It doesn't matter. Like, I work in luxury.
Mm-hmm.
I see, and it's not like a money thing. I think it happens from all different class systems. I meet people like that all the time. Doesn't matter how much money you have. You can have a lot. You can live a really great lifestyle and still be stuck mentally. You can still be stuck. And this is where and it's the same. Everyone has the same problem. Everyone's dealing with the same problems. Just I think some things are want to find the word. It's expanded on, right? Like when people have more time to think about things, because most of us, we're working, we're busy.
Yeah.
We're like, we got to get here, got to get there, we got there. And then the moment we have our quiet time, the moment it gets like you're driving, and it happens to me, I'm telling you, I'm driving in the car and just like the thoughts, right? The thoughts. The like, like you don't even want to listen to the music. You don't even want to listen to the song. You just like that one little, it's a trigger. I don't know. What do you think about that?
So you said trigger, and for others, so this is the beauty of mindfulness practices and the arena that I'm in. We can start reframing that. Does it really have to be a trigger? Can it be these thoughts are coming up and now I'm giving myself the grace and freedom to explore them without judgment and say, okay, not attaching this emotional experience or this visceral reaction of whatever is coming up in my body. Those are indicators of the work we get to do. And can I look at it for what it is? Can I take that third party perspective and be the observer of my own life? And, people that I coach, I would say, like, how would you coach yourself? Or if this were your best friend, or if this were your child, what would you tell them? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, now, can you turn that inward? Can you express that to yourself? Can you give yourself the grace? We're so hard on ourselves, so critical. There is this judgment that we put on ourselves, and it really takes a toll. So the beauty of mindfulness is we can quiet the mind. We can learn practices to detach from some of these things and observe and to create a different outcome. And that all takes work. It takes learning something new, a new skill set to create a different result in our lives. And we're doing beings. We're not human beings, we're doing beings.
I believe.
Have you heard a lot of this is brought up like in intrapersonal work, self-discovery work, the arena we're in, like be, do, have. Have you heard that mantra?
No, I haven't. I've never heard that before. Be, do, have. So this is the goal. If we can be the authentic version of ourselves, then we're called to do the things that inspire us. And then we can have fill in the blank. We can potentially have the money. We could potentially have the peace we're looking for. We could potentially have the joy. And the having, the goal is to get to the having where we're not looking to ascertain everything and identify success as tangible objects like the car, the money, those things, right? They're great. They're resources. However, our purpose here on earth is not to be collecting items. It's to be creating connections. It's to be of service to humans through our services, through our gifts. We were all put here on this planet as an individual snowflake to develop what it is we are meant to share with others. When we are in that space of being who we are and doing the thing, whatever it is we're called for, some people don't know what their purpose is. It yields the having in a very inflow state, right? And that's natural, it's organic. The problem is it's not what we're programmed to do. We're programmed to say, if you do, starting with the do, if you do the thing, if you work hard, if you grind, and you have the car, the money, whatever the luxuries, the things that you're constantly chasing, then you'll be happy. Then you'll be rich, right? And fill in the blank. So we're programmed at a level to not really bring us sustainable joy, to not allow us to connect to who we truly are. When we can flip that mindset around and really practice and integrate the be, do, have model, we're onto something, and our lives will change. No, I agree with that 100%. I think more than ever now. I mean, I didn't grow up like this, but we already know, like social media, TV, the movies, even like the actors today, right? They're just like, it's like when I grew up, people seem more real. Like
Yeah.
now they're all have the same look. They all have the same, it's the same. And everyone has an image, man. I'm telling you right now. Like there's like this persona that people are trying to chase, trying to chase this like dream.
Yeah.
And then I see it all the time.
Yeah.
And then they're not authentic with themselves. I think that's one of the things that you hit the nail on the head, just made me think about was your purpose. And the purpose was, when you have a purpose and you're connecting, you're trying to create those connections. And I'm trying to simplify what you said. That becomes greater than all this crap that we have.
Absolutely.
The thing is, all the crap that we're trying to chase, all the crap that we have, all these little things, and all that, we're chasing that more than connecting with someone and saying, hello, how are you? How's your day going? How are you feeling? What can I do to help you? What's going on? Let's talk. Let's have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I don't know. I'm in this like epiphany of things. You're just hitting a lot of nails in my head. It's crazy how the world works, and that's probably why we connected today.
Yeah.
What's been going on with you? I know you've been doing. You said before we started the chat, you were doing like some kind of consultation with like with some companies of some sort. What was the?
So bringing mindfulness practices. So I'm a co-founder of a mobile yoga studio in Vegas. It's called Las Vegas Yoga Therapy, and we're launching a parent company, if you will, a bigger brand to bring these mindfulness practices into the workplace. And so that is called Relaxation Station. And so the end goal here is to de-stress, honestly. Like you said, people are in this doing phase and everybody's highly strung, living in a state of anxiety, and it is so taxing to our nervous system. We are not meant to live in that capacity of being in flight or fight all the time. And so it's the reset, right? It's taking what we initially started this conversation about, the pandemic. What did it do? It allowed us to reset, to come back inward, to come back to basics. And so how do we extend that teaching really on a broader scale? CEOs of companies, leadership teams are fried. They're pushing their employees to the edge, with productivity and meeting quotas. And we're forgetting our human component. Why is this individual here to begin with? Well, they're chasing money. So do you want to spend your whole life chasing money, potentially spending your whole life to attain something that's not attainable? Like, what's the drive behind that? And so let's get into, can we see each other for our human experience? Can you as a CEO see this individual who maybe is a baseline employee? Do you even know who they are and what they have going on in their life? And granted, we don't have to bring all the drama to work, but can we have a little empathy and say, what's this individual's story? Are they a single mom? Are they a dad who's taking care of an aging parent? Did they lose their spouse? Has their child committed suicide? Like, we don't know the level of wounding on a personal level. And it feels unsafe to share these stories in the workplace. Repercussions of, I might be seen weak. Now I'll be coined as that pitiful parent that lost their child, and people will just, it'll be a level of sorry that never ends. So I think it's important to let's start seeing each other for our human story and what we bring to the table and what can we cultivate. How can we create partnerships where I will give you a work environment where you want to flourish, where you feel connected to my mission as the person who has created the company, as the person who is carrying this vision through whatever they're delivering, whether it's a product or a service. Let's get back to basics. Let's create this unity our businesses, our companies have a soul, and we're bringing in individuals who have their own independent soul, and now we're coming together, and there's a collective energy, a collective spirit that's being birthed or not. So I think to educate our leaders, it starts there. And then for all people to come in and feel safe in the work environment. And this takes a lot of work, and there are ways to do this, and you need trained professionals to come in and create that environment. And then it's how far are, we willing to go. But I promise you, when a company can invest at this level in their staff, it will increase retention. It will do something to teamwork, to the corporate culture, and the company will just start to see something different being birthed. But it takes all sides to come in and have a willingness to do this, and it not be some authoritative or directive given from, leadership team, like, yeah, do that with these group of people because they need it. They are not producing, they are not. And so it's always a reflection of, well, who are you being as the leadership team? How are you inspiring them? How are you connecting with them to want to be a part of this mission other than chasing a paycheck? Because anybody can chase a paycheck.
Yeah,
that's what everybody does.
I agree with that. Even now today, I hate to say it, but it's harder these days to be a parent, to be just living in the world 20 years ago. I look at my kids and I'm trying to prepare them. Like I have a 20, we have almost same age. I have a 20-year-old, 7-year-old, and I have a 10-year-old. And I know they're strong-willed minded. I know they're going to flourish. But the thing is, when you go into how they're being attacked all day, just like the social construct of the world today is so different. And to them to go to work, and I tell them, there's when you're dealing with a home life, when you have things, and then you got to work, and you put your mask on. You're not that person.
Yeah.
You're not that person. You have to you're not the same person when you are at home, when you're at work.
Yeah.
And after years and years of doing that, you start to lose who you really are. I'm telling you, you lose who you are. It takes a long time. And then this is coming from myself. It took me a long time to realize, how do I handle that? How do I communicate that? And then, it's this whole, what I'm trying to say is that wasn't what you're telling me wasn't told to me when I was younger. No one told me that. Someone would have told me when I was in my 20s to say, hey, you know what, Ben, when you're at work, you need to work on your mind and not just do the job. Not just try to work on yourself. Why, as you improve yourself. I guarantee you we will all be different people if we had what we knew today. Yeah. What we knew.
So we got to start somewhere. And yes, this is not being taught, right? So this is partly emotional intelligence and a deep, deep level of self-development work. And so you said something, I get to be someone at home. And then when I got to go to work, I got to put on this mask. Well, so now we're putting on these masks and we're performing. How long can we perform before we start feeling like this is cruddy? I'm really not being who I am. I've got,
and it happens. Think about just, I know it's funny because you said we perform. It's think about celebrities who play roles for many years.
Yeah.
They get sick of that role. They're like, I'm not that guy. They're like, now I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. And they go crazy. We can joke around. We can talk about the guy, Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right?
Yeah.
He played this goofy guy.
Yeah.
And he was never that guy. He was just an actor.
Exactly.
And that kind of messed them up. All these actors, and we're doing that to ourselves every single day. And all of a sudden, the good thing about, the way I look at this, they knew who they were, but when they know they have to, they're not that person. But a lot of us, we start to confuse, who are we? Are we really this person at home, or are we really the person at work?
Yeah.
Or whatever. And so we're so confused. And that's
Mhm.
what kind of happened to me for a while too. Is like, you're like,
Mm.
am I this person or am I this person or who am I?
Yeah.
Right. And it's that I like the way you're talking. It's that moment of, being authentic and who you really are at your environment where you're
Mhm.
wherever you're at.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel safe, because now if we're going to show up authentically and yet the entire workforce around us is not in that area of self-development, has no understandings of emotional intelligence, we open ourselves up to be a target, because they'll be like, that's not the expectation here. We don't want you connecting with our customers in a way where you're having a conversation and now like a mom is crying because you've said something, because you've shared a level of empathy and you struck a chord. You're seeing this person's humanness and now she's having a moment, right? Unacceptable. So there's a lot to be changed about expectations. And if we really care about people, and we're talking now about the workplace, and people are giving of their time and they're coming in usually 8 hours a day. I mean, you're spending more time in this environment than we are in our homes. So what can we create where people can really flourish? All these, buzzwords around mental health and mental health crisis, and we're performing, we're not being who we are, and now I feel hollow and empty inside, and so after work I hit the bar, or I feel lonely and depressed, and now I'm hiring all these prostitutes to fulfill a physical part of me, but it's really there's some spiritual need within me that's seeking something so much more deeper. If we want to evolve in a healthy fashion and really improve what's going on in our day-to-day world, we've got to really do some deep work. And it is my opinion that this is not something that medications are going to solve. Let's just give them some Xanax, and have them chill. That we need to get to the root cause of these problems. We are walking around as wounded versions of ourselves think of inner child, and maybe it's the 7-year-old self that was rejected by dad. Maybe it's the 5-year-old self that was pushed away from mom, who said, I don't have time to offer you this hug right now, I'm busy. And so we need to start really getting to the root of these problems, and we get to be accountable to take this on. And it's work, and it impacts all areas of our lives. And it's scary because we have an ego, and the ego's purpose is survival. And so it is going to deter us, it's going to distract us from really pursuing these tools, because we are going to be confronting that ego, and ego's going, no, we're not going there, because you're in essence maybe killing parts of me off, and I'm not game for that. I'm running this show, and we want to be safe. And so you can be safe by staying exactly where you are. You are. There's no evolution down the line, because we like it here. We know how to respond to this. It may not be ideal, but we have developed coping mechanisms to stay right where we are. So let's just be below the radar. Can we just stay here? And then you get to the end of life. I work hospice care, and I sit with people who are at their end of their life. And it's always the regrets, the things I didn't do, the relationships that I didn't clean up. It's never, ever about the money, the titles, the possessions. It always comes down to relationships, and did I honor my calling, my desires to create a really joyful experience in life? Did I climb the mountain that I always said I wanted to climb? Did I get to see that beach in Ibiza? Did I reach out to my sister after not talking to her for 20 years? And some people can pass peacefully when they've been able to really live a life where I feel like they were authentic to their desires and showing up in a way where they were somehow in service to their fellow brothers and sisters. to humanity, doing something that was driven by purpose. And then there were those who were checked out and didn't take advantage of opportunities. We all, I get it, come from different backgrounds. We have different stories. Some of us have more obstacles than others. And again, we're always at free will, free choice, and saying, I want to do something different. And I can't wait for someone outside of me to create this. So who do I get to be? How can I practice the be, do, have model so that when I get to the end of my life, I feel good?
Sure. That's deep. I'm thinking. You're making me think, because I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is probably the talk I needed, and probably this is a talk that someone may need to listen to. Just a moment of clarity.
Yeah.
Because we need people like that. That's why I kept you that's why I've kept in contact with you, Michelle, because you're someone that when I listen to you, when I hear you talk, I come up with in my mind, it starts to spin, you gotta spin the head, right? We need those people in our lives rather than trying to make you feel good. It's not a make you feel good. It's not a make you feel good speech. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm happy. I see clouds after that. It's like, okay, shit, I gotta take care of some shit.
I love that. We don't have these conversations.
We don't. No, not with many people. I tell you, everyone else is talking about what they have, what they got, what they did, what they're gonna do, what they're gonna where they're gonna go trip, the weather, right? And it's like, hey, let's talk about what's going on in the head, right? What's going on in the heart? What's going on in the mind? It doesn't have to be a self-development. It doesn't even feel like nothing like that at all. It doesn't feel hokey. It doesn't feel hokey. It's just hey, this is my experience. This is what I've seen. Think about that, because everyone's going to make choices and decisions, and you got to make some choices and decisions in your life, and you got to start now. You can't wait on it. You can't wait on it. You can't wait on it.
Yeah, we only have now.
Yeah, we only have now, right? It's if you can't be in, like you said, you can't be lying on your deathbed and say, well, I got to take care of that now. It's now it's all the world's you're in a different world now. You're on a different mission now. You're
or the people who say I'm going to wait till I retire to do all the things, and then they retire and they have the damn heart attack, right?
Yeah, all the time. I have family members who lived great lives, but the moment they retired, whatever was ticking in their body, whatever was going on,
that rush
just turned on. It just turned. The moment within accelerates. You're wow, because your body will still. All of us right now, even we're still in this, we're programmed, right? We're programmed, all of a sudden you say, if you say, I'm going to wait till you retire and you work really hard and all of a sudden you have, would be, I don't even know, arthritis. You have arthritis. Now you have osteoporosis. Now it's your brittle bones. You have brittle bones. Now you're breaking everything in your hand. You slip and you fall and you're breaking. Now you're in the cast for
life changing.
It happens all the time. We see that shit happen all the time. Now you're in the wheelchair for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
you see that. It happens all the time. What else is going on in Vegas with you? Anything going on with you? Any kind of programs coming up or events for you?
We do events, and for those who are watching, thank you. You can follow us at LV Yoga Therapy, Instagram and Facebook. We post a lot of our events, and again, we're a mobile yoga studio, and so we bring a lot of mindfulness practices, and it's not simply exercises or asanas, we call them, where we're doing poses. This is much, much deeper work. And so we'll use all the philosophies under the yoga umbrella, which can look like breath work. It can look like actual yoga, physicality, movement. It can be running circles where people come in and have these kind of conversations. And a very transformational space that I'm in. And you can also be connected to us through our website at LasVegasYogaTherapy.com. And I want to ignite and impart this message to people of we deserve to be joyful and live a happy life. And so what are we doing to create that?
Michelle, you're awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you. No, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I think, and I hope you're watching this message right now. Reach out to Michelle, give her a follow, give her a like, say hi, send her a message. She's she's not like somebody that's just going to be like push you away, right? She's not going to try to like try to get you in and then sign up and trying to sell you, right? She's here.
Not at all. I'm connected.
This isn't a sale. This is not a sale.
No, not at all. It's connect with people that are going to support you in this journey of expansion. We need that support because it can get a bumpy ride when you're stepping into these arenas of like self-development. And so surrounding ourselves with like-minded people that understand where we're at as far as mindset and wanting to create deep change. So it's transformation can feel lonely. And so I'm about, let's connect people. Let's have people thrive in community and really build that level of support where people, again, can choose change and can choose joy, a joyful life.
I choose joy. I don't want to be in pain.
Yeah. We have that down.
How's everything else going? How's everything else going with you? Everything good? Like just
everything's great. So yesterday was Mother's Day. So
Mother's Day. How was your Mother's Day?
Shout out! It's okay. Shout out to Mother's Day. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I was in Arizona and facilitating a workshop with a friend, and it was a very intimate environment, and that we were celebrating a birthday, and I took the group into this place of the divine feminine, and who is that individual for you? And not everybody has a mom. Not everybody has had a mom that was supportive. And so getting into this space of like, who in your world cultivated a seed of nurturing, of understanding, of feeling that warm hug that wraps around you and gives you that sense of hope and like, I can really be somebody in life. And it really opened up a powerful discussion. And there were quite a few men in our group. And again, men are not accustomed to having these conversations. And one gentleman whose mom, in his words, abandoned him. And later on in life, actually, before she died, they got to reconnect and he got to hear her story. It was such a powerful share for the group and really opened up this level of communication. There was a woman who felt guilty because it wasn't her mom that she sought out. It was actually a coach. I don't know if it was a tennis coach, but a coach, someone she spent a lot of time with, became that figure. And so let's not stay in this, pain and suffering and allowing these feelings of some experiences that we had that brought sadness in our life. Let's start looking at, well, who made the impact in my life? And then how can I take those lessons and what they gave me and impart that to the person who may have disappointed me, the person who may have abandoned me? And so then I walked them through the exercise and I said, picture your individual, if it was your mom, your grandma, this person who was absent, who didn't love you the way you felt like you needed to be loved. Picture them as a child. What was their upbringing life? What were they exposed to? What was their environment? And can you see that this person is walking around as a wounded version of themselves, and they have not been given the ability or taught the tools to work through this? And can we bring forgiveness into our hearts? And so again, opening up a very robust discussion. we put our parents on pedestals. We don't see them as humans and not having an experience. So yesterday was my son Martin's 26th birthday.
Oh, on Mother's Day. Oh, wow.
On Mother's Day. So we were having that conversation, right? I'm like, well, I'm not cooking. It's Mother's Day. And he's like, well, it's the birthday, right? And there was a banter going on.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm like, so who trumps who? And then it was like, I'm like, I wouldn't have the gift of celebrating Mother's Day had I not given birth to you. And so we were joking. I have, 2 other kids, and it was funny. Who came first, the chicken or the egg, right?
Exactly. I was joking with my wife, and I saw this video, and I said, so on Mother's Day, you don't have to do dishes, okay? Sunday, you take it easy. You can handle it on Monday, I said.
So you leave the dishes in the sink till Monday.
We're just joking around, but But that's awesome. It's a great gift for you for Mother's Day, and it's a great gift for him on his birthday. I think that's amazing. And I think you're right when it comes to, and I'll be super transparent. My grandmother passed away years ago, and my mom, it's always hard for her. This month is always the hardest because it's her birthday. It's around the same time. It's Mother's Day. It's like, she lost her mom, and it's always like
a reminder.
Always a reminder. Those are always painful, but then we have to look at the positives too. And I'm like, okay, like look at the great things, and when there's pain, it's hard to. It's not easy to look at the positives. It's not easy to. But we need someone. We need someone to say, someone like yourself or if you're watching right now, saying, hey, you know what? Let's just look at the flowers. Let's remember the good things. So.
Oh yeah, because we can focus on the roots all day long, and the weeds that are coming through. So because that's what we're accustomed to focus on.
Yeah.
Everything that's negative, everything, we're taught to, some religions teach to be in pain and suffering is to be the martyr, right? And so you carry this cross, and is that true? Someone wrote that, but is that my truth? Do I have to carry this cross? So a lot of thought, provoking questions, and not judging. Everybody has their belief system, but at some point we really get to review a lot of what's been programmed into us, and people telling us who we get to be.
All right, Michelle, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You have a busy schedule.
Yes.
I will talk to you later. Thank you again. Hopefully we can do this again. Let's plan. I'd love to do this again with you.
We can make a goal for once a month if you feel that serves.
Yeah, we can do this once a month. Yeah, let's plan it out once a month. We'll schedule a time. We'll figure it out. And we can just
we'll give it a name. Maybe we'll engage your audience. What would we call this? And
Well, I'd love to invite other people too. If anyone else, if you have friends, it doesn't have to be just us.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be other people in the group. We can do a social, like a little talk, and just have a conversation. Whatever's going on. I think it doesn't even have to be what we spoke about, but it could be other things like life, what's going on in Vegas, what's going on in social media, what's going on, whatever just time to like work on connecting with people. I think that's so important. Connecting with people and finding people that are, I don't want to say, I'm trying to find the word here. I'm not trying, just maybe listen. Right? Yeah. Maybe just listen. That's it. Right? I think we're on the same path. We like to hear, and I like to just observe, and I like to absorb, and I mix it up in my head. I think it, and then I go, this is what I'm experiencing from the conversation.
Yeah.
So I like doing it. All right, Michelle, thank you so much. We'll do it again. We'll plan it out, and I'll put the invites out. I love to do that. And if you'd love to join us, let us know.
Absolutely. All right. Happy week. Ciao.